Good morning. Let's begin the morning with an affirmative prayer. We rest our bodies in this moment and settle into this space. Divine Presence, we begin this day in the awareness that you are already here. We affirm that your love lives within us. Your wisdom guides us. Your peace fills every heart gathered here. As we open ourselves to truth, may our thoughts, our words, and our actions become living prayers. Together, we joyfully affirm the unfolding of the highest good for our own lives, for the unity of Kona community, and for the whole of humanity. With grateful hearts, we trust the perfect unfolding of these visions and the actions that are to flow through us as living vessels of the divine. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is. Welcome this morning to Unity of Kona. It's so good to see each of you. I'm Cindy Avenger, and just thought I'd let you know who I am. And if you would stand with me, we're going to say our affirmation for this month. Together, I live, move, and have my being in the divine. And our vision statement, a world family of oneness, peace, and love. And our mission statement, to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. Oh, I had my back turned. We got more peoples. That's really good. If you'd stay standing, we're going to sing our song, Stand Together, as Elaine and the choir come to help us sing that.
Something great is happening, love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion, we're drops in one ocean, roll on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference, let's stand together. Share gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness, let's stand together now. Ooh-oh. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing, to feel your passion blazing and shine. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions, explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today, lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference, let's stand together. Share gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness, let's stand together now. Ooh-oh. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice
and
one heart, one world. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Hey. Now we'd like to welcome our guests and visitors. So if you haven't been here for a long time, and we'd love for you to stand and tell us your name and where you're visiting from, or if this is your first time. Okay. Good to see you, Kathy. And we're excited for the other ones that have arrived recently. And we're so happy you're here. And we would like to welcome everybody by saying, God bless you. No, that's not what I say. Aloha. I knew there was something missing. Okay, aloha and God bless you. Okay, we all got it, right? Yes, we're all welcome. Okay. So let's take a moment now for just the people that are around you to say hello and have a little handshake or a hug, okay? So to start our announcements, we like to always remind you that if you need prayer support, we have little brochures on the back table that you can fill out your prayer request and then put it into the prayer box, and it will be prayed for here at Unity and also sent on to Silent Unity, where it will be prayed for nonstop for 30 days. So we really believe in prayer and meditation here. We see absolutely amazing things happen when we unite in prayer. So make sure you are aware of that. Also, there's a Be Unity app that's free that you can send requests to anytime and also get other articles and things that you might really enjoy. Okay, Patrick's going to come up and read the rest of our announcements to us.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Good morning, everybody. So I wrote these announcements, but I did not proof them very well, so bear with me. We want to recognize our team member of the month, Joshua Hoagland. Thank you so much, Joshua, for your loving service to our spiritual center. We're blessed to have you here at Unity of Kona. Joshua serves on the Unity of Kona Board of Trustees, brings food and special teas for fellowship, and is our Unity of Kona's website webmaster. He helps set up for Circulation Day events. Joshua, you're a bright and shining light, and we are grateful for your spirit of aloha and loving service. We love you. Thank you. Patrick Thompson is our board member of the week. Patrick is our board vice president. Feel free to discuss any questions you may have with him about our spiritual community. Monday, July 13th, 5 p.m. is a beginner's ukulele class in the Unity of Kona Sanctuary. Please see Elaine or Dondi with any questions. Let's see if this is working. Oh, I'm behind. There we go. And on Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m., Dondi leads a ukulele jam session here in the sanctuary. There are some uks to share, or bring your own. Our next choir practice is going to be Monday, July 20th at... It's the 27th. You sure? Are we skipping one? I'm not going to look at it right now. Look at your newsletter. And then Laura has an announcement about her upcoming workshop on affirmative prayer and chaplain training. Laura, or do you want to talk about it again? Thank you, Laura. The sign-up sheet is in the back, as she mentioned. We are looking for volunteers to help Friday and Saturday for the Alpha Delta Kappa Iota Educator Sororities annual rummage sale. They are a local group of educators, and they are raising funds to provide scholarships for future teachers. They're renting our space, and we're looking for volunteers to be present during the event and close the sanctuary down when they are done, ensure lights and AC are turned off, lock up the church. There's a sign-up sheet being passed around for those, and the dates we need people are Friday from between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. and Saturday between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. So if anybody is available, it's mostly just going to be hanging around the church, maybe buying yourself some stuff at a rummage sale. So if you're available, please, we welcome your assistance. For regular monthly and weekly announcements, there's a flyer on the small table at the back of the sanctuary. Feel free to pick one up. And it takes a village to support our spiritual center, and Unity of Kona depends on each of us. Please consider volunteering just 1 to 4 hours a month in any way you feel called to serve. Sign-up sheets are, as you guessed, in the back of the sanctuary. Your support is essential, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Mahalo, everybody.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay. And now Wendy's going to come forward and read our daily word. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Cindy. Today's daily word is guidance. Divine guidance is not only found in burning bushes or mind-blowing revelations. More often, it arrives as gentle nudges, subtle enough to overlook, ordinary enough to dismiss. Yet these quiet signals are holy too. A craving for sweetness, a need for fresh air, a muscle that tightens or relaxes, all can be taken as cues to care for body and soul. As I become present to the fullness of my humanity, my senses, intuition, inner knowing, I recognize guidance as ever flowing. It invites a restorative resting of mind and heart. It is an alert stillness that listens, a receptive openness where clarity emerges and gentle direction unfolds. I trust the quiet impulses that draw me forward, allowing the simplest moments to lead me towards my soul's fulfillment with ease. And the scripture is, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Exodus 33:14. And if you'll read the message with me together. In the divine presence, I am guided. Thank you.
I am so grateful for the divine presence that guides me. It's so wonderful when you know that you know that you know you're doing the right thing, right? Yeah, so good. Okay, it's time for us to take a deep breath, put our feet on the floor, relax, and visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful, beautiful, loving heart. Just feel that loving energy of those around you right now. As it flows through you. Now see that loving energy flowing around every person here in the sanctuary. Now see that loving energy flowing through every person on our island. And every person on our earth. If we just take this, our whole earth, into that beautiful, beautiful, loving heart. And if you know of someone or yourself that needs extra love today, extra help, extra guidance, see them in the middle of that loving heart. As together we say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yes. Okay. Lauren is going to come and have some special music. Sorry, I lost my little thought there for a minute. We're excited to have Lauren back. We haven't seen him for a few weeks. Yay! Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for sharing your talents and your music with us. We appreciate it. Okay, it's time for our Kayla. We all really always enjoy her talks. They're heartfelt. They're intelligent. They are. They always leave me with something to take home, don't they? You always something good to take home. So we're very privileged and pleased to have Kayla come and speak to us today. And her message is realigning through affirmative prayer. Yay.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, we're going to get started with a meditation. So whenever you're ready, find yourself a comfortable spot in your chair. Settle yourself in your seat and gently close or soften your gaze. Focus your attention on your breath. Breathing in peace. Breathing out anything that no longer serves. Allowing yourself to fully arrive here and now. There's nothing we need to fix. Nothing you need to prove. And nowhere else you need to be. As you become still, turn your awareness from the story of your life. And remember now the divine presence that is always within and all around. We remember that we are not separate from Source. We're not separate from that source of love, wisdom, peace, or life. We are expressions and live channels of that presence, connected to one another and all that is. Recall a time you felt this oneness. Maybe it was a time you felt deeply moved and connected to a group of people. A peak experience you had in meditation or prayer. Or an existential experience, or simply a moment of clear awareness while watching the ocean. This feeling into the divine connectedness takes us to the moment of profound awareness. Feel into this visceral awareness by feeling the absolute peace that comes from remembering who you are. Feel that deep well of love that exists and is available within you. Feel the wisdom available to guide you. Silently we affirm, I am an expression of divine love. I am guided by divine wisdom. I am filled with divine peace. And I am one with that presence within and all around. Allow these words to settle, not as something you're trying to make true, but as a remembrance of who and what you really are. Rest for a moment in this stillness. As we gently come back into the space, we begin to feel our body being held by the chair and the presence all around you in the room. And we wiggle our fingers and toes. We begin to stretch and open our eyes as it feels good, coming back into the space and arriving together into consciousness as one. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, everyone. It's beautiful as we come back together out of that meditation, which sounds so much like a prayer. This month, we're talking all about prayer. And to be honest, I don't think it could have come for me at a better time. The last few weeks, like many of us, I have been a bit under the weather, which is not fun. It's really, I get really tired of being sick and tired, right? And we just become off. We're not ourselves. And I've been really working on recentering. I've needed it. And Sasha and I frequently talk here and to each other about how all of the topics, as they come up, it feels like we have to live that lesson in our lives that entire week as we're writing the talk. And as everything that happened this week, I started looking at that thought differently. I actually wonder if what's happening is that the talk theme is actually a guidance in and of itself, coming as a blessing to say, I know what's going to happen this week, and I got you. I got exactly what you need to focus on and the practices that will help. In that way, it's beautifully, perfectly timed. I needed this lesson this week, and I needed to lean into prayer, which has been an uncomfortable thing at times for me. But I needed it not only for the illness and the everything Mercury retrograde, which was really intense this morning. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that. It's real, I swear. To me, it's happening. But that's okay, right? Those are lessons too. But I needed it especially yesterday. Yesterday, after I did a few sessions and thought, okay, now I'm really going to get into my talk, I got an unexpected call that a family member of mine was rushed to the emergency room, to the hospital, and it was hard. And there's, at that point, nothing else to do but to say that is the most important thing. More important than writing a talk, more important than anything else I had planned. So I spent most of yesterday sitting outside of the hospital because you can have one person at a time in intense situations, being emotional and logistical support, getting coffee, sitting and talking out the questions we could ask, framing out the timeline, and just being there. And I think this week, and remembering that what we were talking about was prayer, it really helped prepare me for that moment. To be that pillar of support, mostly first by just settling myself. So I could recenter myself so that I could be an anchor. And did I always go to it? Nope. No, there was moments of panic. But when I did it help? Absolutely. Now, we shouldn't always go to prayer in moments where we need it. And yet, at the same times, when we need it, is the moment we notice we are off center. I am not okay. I am not myself. I am not remembering. It's the moments we go into those human, physical world, and we immerse ourselves in the material challenges, and we're no longer aligned with that oneness. I just off center, got off kilter a bit. And my thoughts instead go to worry or fear or limitation. And it gets this spiraling sort of loop. And when my thoughts are there, it impacts everything. My energy, my emotions, the behaviors that I have, the way I look at the world. Realignment is what I'm needing in those moments. And prayer, especially the way that unity helps us lean into it, really can help. And I know that it's something I have been resistant to before. And maybe some of you can relate to that. A conversation that sometimes never felt like it went anywhere. And I think especially the way I was having that conversation. So that's why leaning into the other ways of doing this, the ways I can realign, has been so wonderful. Now, if we look at a general definition of prayer, very general here, you can think about it as a conscious act of connecting with the divine through thoughts, prayers, feelings, silence, or intention. We've talked about how Charles Fillmore describes it as communion with God. And most people look at it as simply talking with God. And that's great. And you can do this with various intentions. There are so many different types of prayer. And as Sasha said, there is no wrong way to pray. But we are aware of some types and not as aware of others. So most people know things as petitionary or supplication prayer. It's a type of prayer where we are asking for help and support. We're asking for God to intervene in our lives. We often are familiar also with a gratitude prayer, where we're expressing thanks for the blessings and all that is already here that we notice. Praise prayer. There's prayers of confession. There's contemplative prayer, prayers of surrender, and so many more. And you could see how all of these come with a different intention and what we're coming for. There are ways to pray silently, spoken aloud, doing mantras, walking, doing a labyrinth. The list could go on. Now, you're encouraged to pray, which is talking with God, in whatever manner you choose. And in times of need, we often go to that petitionary prayer. And it makes complete sense. We feel sometimes powerless and we're looking for something else to help. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's that part that didn't always feel as empowering to me. Because when I did it, at least, I was leaning into my helplessness, asking and requesting as if I had no power. It didn't always change my physiology, and the impact in that moment wasn't always what I was looking for. Now again, unity supports whatever type of prayer will feel good for you. Whatever way you want to communicate with God is fantastic. And to help with that feeling, what I found works for me, what feels so good, is this unity's version of affirmative prayer. To me, that has really helped me lean in, and it distinguishes unity in a different way, because what unity talks about is prayer is that it's looking at the primary force of prayer being about the transformation of our consciousness, first and foremost. So instead of necessarily trying to persuade God to intervene in our lives, we are instead intentionally aligning our hearts and our minds with the remembrance of spiritual truth. And in that way, staying open to God's guidance and divine ideas, which are our birthright to make manifest in this world. Now, I'm going to give a very brief overview of some of the steps that Unity has suggested as a stepping process to doing affirmative prayer. And again, it's not about formulaic processes. It's not about that. This is actually just a highlighting of components that are available for us, and a process that if you would like to dive in and you say, yes, you know what, that sounds good. The way I've been doing it didn't really help. I like this thought you're saying. Oh, we got a method for you if you'd like to feel it into it. Now, however, you don't have to make it complicated. If there are parts you like, grab them. Grab them. And if this interests you but sounds a little convoluted, come to Laura's class. I have been super excited watching her get super excited. I have seen how much this is moving to Laura, and I need to know all about that. It moves her in a way that excites me. I want to be a part of that. So if you're interested and you just get a sneak peek of a spark here, know that it's going to be expanded upon. And those 2 classes are going to be a way to expand and enjoy into this process. But let's talk about a process. How do we do this? What is affirmative prayer? What are some things I can do to get more into this? Now, just know that unity in itself is always in transformation, just like every one of us as humans. So they have a formal process that was the slightly old version, and then there's a slightly newer version. However you want to look at it is good. I'm going to highlight a mix of both. The point is just for us to recognize each of these elements can be something you can take hold of. Now, these 5 steps are as follows. Take what you like. And we talk about the first thing we can do to get into affirmative prayer is to, what it used to be is called relaxation. Relax into the body. Or now we're describing it as openness. Simply becoming still, quieting the body and mind, and becoming receptive. Becoming open to a shift in a new thought. This reminds us that it's easier to shift when we're not coming to God in panic, that we don't have to come like this. Even if that's true in your body right now, the first step is to come close to God in God's peace. To simply allow ourselves to center and find that peace now. The second bit we've talked about is concentration. And now we're looking at more as recognition. Recognition that in that centering, God is there. And in that, we turn away from the problem that we're coming to prayer for and towards the divine, putting it down as if it's sitting next to us, turning towards what is real, what is ever present, what is here. And as we begin to turn towards what they used to call meditation, which sometimes felt a little confusing in the midst of prayer, we talk about as integration. It's a joining with that peace of God, where we think less in this moment. We're resting in the felt experience and the present, where we merge with that feeling of God in the I am. We join in the I am. I am that presence. Now, once we've centered ourselves, we've felt God and we're joining. And again, these are ideas more expressed fully in this beautiful book, which you will pick up, comes very quickly if you order it on Amazon. Discover Your Divinity, a modern guide to affirmative prayer. She breaks it all down here. But another part here is about the realization, and this is a key aspect as well. So instead of asking here, this is where we're affirming what is true. We're affirming even in a situation that feels junky, we're affirming what is real already, right now. We're affirming what we know. We know Spirit's present is with us, within and all around. We're affirming what we have. We have our support system. We have the guidance from Spirit. We are affirming our capacity, what we are capable of, what we are able to do, what we are able to engage, these bits within ourselves. We're affirming, we're remembering. And finally, we give a thanksgiving, an appreciation. The reason we're ending with gratitude is because we are doing a faithful assurance to ourselves, a saying of yes, yes, this is. Yes, this is true. Now, any bits of these that you can grab and incorporate, any bits of these that feel powerful is a way of connecting with the divine in a way that allows our body to move and shift, that changes us right now in the moment, letting God come through you in that moment. Now, affirmative prayer is not about seeking God, because God is already here. We're not looking to find God and say, God, please come to this situation. God is in every fiber of your being. God is in this situation wholly and fully. In fact, truthunity.net, a great resource, has a quote from Eric Butterworth, a very beloved pastor who has an expression. He said, "Praying to God is actually a practice of the absence of God, the need to return to the principle, the one. Pray from the consciousness of God. It is a celebration of the I amness of you, giving focus to creative processes within, that it may flow forth through you." And I think that's a really important thought here. God is within you. We're not seeking. We are expressing and joining the consciousness of God. So affirmative prayer is not negotiating. It's not persuading God. It's not attempting to shift the natural laws. It's not denying any situation is happening. And it's not surrendering all action that we as human beings can take, because we know that we are the vessels with which God acts. So instead, what affirmative prayer is resting in the peace and the presence of Spirit. It's allowing ourselves to release current perspectives on the situation and being open to seeing differently, as Sasha said, to looking again. It's shifting our thoughts and our physiology, our nervous system. It's remembering and realigning and declaring spiritual truths as we become open again to those divine ideas. Now, the traditional prayer flow would be the thought that I ask God something, God responds or not, and then things change or they don't. Now, affirmative prayer encourages and reinforces a different flow. It says, what if? What if instead it's, I become aware of divine truth. My consciousness changes. And then my life begins to reflect that change. I've become very aware as this morning things were Mercury retrograding, that affirmative prayer is simply the intentional returning to our awareness of the divine truths until it becomes more convincing than fear. We are just constantly returning, remembering until we can hold that consciousness. And it's more convincing than any fear trying to pull us away from that alignment. Now, what's beautiful is, and I'm always telling you this, the research supports these methods. It's so supported. Studies on self-affirmation, mindfulness, meditation, gratitude, contemplative practices all show that intentional focus, this intentional focus of our thoughts and our actions and repetition of the influence, has influence on our emotions, our nervous system, our patterns of behavior, and repeatedly orienting ourselves to empowering beliefs, to compassion, to gratitude and responsibility, has us becoming more open to new perspectives, literally seeing things that we could not see when we are stuck. It has us becoming more resilient to stress and any stimuli in our world. And it has us making more aligned choices, aligning with our values. It empowers our being, our behavior, and who we become. So it helps us become the change that we want to see in the world. Now, does anybody remember that movie? It was a book, actually, called The Help by Catherine Stockett. It's a good one. I both read the book and saw the movie. It's fantastic. If you haven't, it's set in Mississippi during the civil rights era, and it tells a story of Black people and women in particular who are hired to care for and be particularly like maids for white families. Now, it's a profound story about the injustice and the discrimination that they endured during this time. But what brought this story to mind is the way that Abilene here helps care for Mae Mobley, who is pretty neglected by her own mother, who's fairly rude and absolutely racist. But she protects her and protects her mind from all the statements that are being said so rudely to her. And she knows the world is going to teach her all kinds of things. So every day, she repeats to her, "You is kind. You is smart. You is important." She knows she's already receiving opposite messages, but she gives her the voice of truth. And she reminds her every day of that divine truth within her. Now, whether we realize it or not, we are all living by affirmations that we repeat to ourselves, consciously or subconsciously. And many of you have heard that statement, worry is prayer in the opposite direction, or for things we don't want, right? So whatever your thoughts repeatedly say to you, they are an affirmation that you live by. So Abilene plants seeds of kindness, worth, and belonging to this little girl. That over time, that could become her inner world. And that is how affirmative prayer works within us. We intentionally plant seeds to remember and uncover divine truths within our own consciousness until that becomes our inner voice. So instead of replaying fear, limitation, and unworthiness, we remind ourselves of that divine identity. And little by little, our consciousness changes. It realigns faster. We get back to that self that we always were. And it doesn't end there. It doesn't end with a scene or a movie. Because when we change our consciousness, our lives begin to change. And when enough people change their consciousness collectively, we can transform anything. Now, we transform naturally, and when this happens, it expresses through service, through community, through creation. And affirmative prayer is not something we simply say, it's something we become. We become the answer to the prayer that we ask for. This is where my heart returns again and again to the vision of the unity of Kona. This beautiful vision that we've held for many years, not simply as a building, but as an expression of this prayer, as an outlet of who we can become, who we are, who we can help everyone else remember they are. You know, I think about this almost every day. And I thought about this a lot when Laura and I were on the retreat. Because it was living that experience I want everyone to live. We were living in a retreat center that was the space I want us to have. And I got to thinking about what part I want in that. How important it is to me. How big this feels in my heart. And for those of you who were not a part of it, years ago, we brainstormed with Reverend Sophia, and she asked us, what is your big, audacious dream here at Unity of Kona? And we collectively shared this dream to build a community center, a place to not only deepen our spiritual practices, but to connect, to share with our community this feeling we have inside ourselves, this knowing we have about them, about what we could all become. A place of learning and safety for all. A place where we could come and heal, renew, and grow. A place of joy, music, and sharing. And we created this vision And I have an image of this vision, and many of you have seen. And I tried to put, we had this beautiful motion in it too, but Mercury retrograde wasn't working. But here is this image. This is the vision. This is the vision that keeps me awake, the vision that keeps me interested. We envisioned an open sanctuary, beautiful grounds with landscaping, walking trails where you could have a walking meditation and prayer. Food and flower gardens supporting our community and one another. A commercial kitchen, dormitories for a retreat, classrooms, a music room, an art room. Look at the playground. We envision this as a place of daily activities where we host authors and speakers. We run yoga, tai chi, after-school programs. We teach ukulele, meditation, gardening, spiritual empowerment classes. This vision is so moving to me. I literally have chicken skin right now down my legs. It is so moving to me, and it was so moving to others that we, as a community, got moving. We got started on this dream. Now, some of you don't know because we're doing it now. But before, we didn't have weekly things happening. We were encouraged to create plans. Jim made bumper stickers. Dondi started an ukulele group. We restarted circulation days. We started our monthly sound baths. And so much more. We have come a long way. And we are the stewards of this dream. This is what makes me want to step up. This is what keeps me wanting to give. This is why I feel so passionate about this place, about all of you as people, because I know that each of you plays an intricate part in creating this vision. I know it will serve so many, as we are serving so many now, from all of the things we do. And I will continue to work tirelessly towards this vision right here. And I will keep this prayer alive. And I ask each of you, if you feel called, to join me in this. Because this community is not going to be built by asking God to build it. It's going to be by each of us feeling the movement of God through us, by the empowered human beings who feel the divine ideas and are inspired to act, to give, to create, to envision, and to hold this grounded thought. It's by affirming and embodying our spiritual identity that we create, that we serve, that we support one another. This is what it means to become a living prayer, to be the movement of God, which creates all beauty in our lives and in this world. We can do this not just as individuals, but as a community. And so I'm going to ask that each of you take a moment and join me in prayer about this vision. So as we take a moment, and I'm going to put my hand to my heart. Resting in this moment, we deny any limitations to this shared dream and open ourselves to a shift in our collective consciousness. We remember our connection to the all that is and our power as living channels for the divine. We affirm that divine love is guiding the perfect unfolding of our highest vision of the unity of Kona. We joyfully welcome the perfect people, resources, and opportunity to create this thriving spiritual home that blesses our island and the world. We see and feel this movement already happening in and through each one of us. Guided by divine wisdom, we live this vision now with grateful hearts. And so it is. So as we close today, we remember that prayer is not a thing that we simply use when we need a shift. We remember that it is actually the leaning into who we truly are. Allowing ourselves to remember we transform our lives. And it reminds us that we are not powerless beings waiting for life to change. We are spiritual beings. We are actively participating with divine love. in this beautiful unfolding of life. And as we transform our own consciousness, we become those hearts, those hands, and those voices from which we create this beauty in the world. And so it is. Thank you.
You made it through. Thank you so much, Kayla. I tell you, affirmative prayer changed my life. My whole life I've prayed. But boy, when I got a hold of affirmative prayer when I was about in my early 60s, it changed. I quit asking for things and I just said they were. And they were. It might take a little while, but they were. So it can make a huge difference in your life. It's amazing. So we thank you so much for that prayer, reminding us to be affirmative. Okay. We're going to take our offering now, and we really appreciate all your gifts that you give to keep our center going and our future center coming. There you go, right? Okay, as the ushers come forward, and Lauren's going to play some music, and we're going to pray our offering prayer together. As you hold your gift in your hand, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. Yes. don't know how anybody gets their fingers to do all that. It's amazing. Okay, as I should come forward, we will bless our offering together as we say, through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this center, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Yes. Bless you. Next Sunday, our speaker will be Reverend Sophia, and her message will be about holding the high watch. Remember, this is about prayer again. She writes, when someone we care about is facing a difficulty, our first instinct is often to focus on the problem. Unity invites us to look beyond the appearances and hold a vision of wholeness, possibility, and divine truth. Learn how this powerful form of spiritual support can uplift both ourselves and others. Sounds like another great talk. So you don't want to miss it. Bring your friends. Come back next Sunday. We're so glad you joined us today. And remember, after our circle, we have refreshments upstairs. We'd love for you to stay and enjoy some of those. And we have a great time together because this is really a fun group. Really is. Okay. So if we could join our hearts together as we make a circle around and we will sing together, let there be peace on earth and aloha oi.
Until we meet again, we'll do Aloha Oi. I got a recording. Hold on 1 second, please. No, I'm not going to put my password in right now, YouTube, iTunes. Aloha Oi, Aloha Oi, Eke Ono no no Hikalipo, one fond embrace, Ahoya Yao, until we meet again. Hui ho, everyone. Aloha. We'll see you next week.